Welcome to Diva Spot. 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 You're tuned in to that on the spot diva. From east to the west coast, her grinds off the meter. That blog talk Shira. Products log on and tune in, cause the lines might be tied up. I love it, boy, you already know. You're listening to the only Diva Spot Radio.
You will have to become someone you've never been before. You want to go somewhere you've never gone? You got to do something you've never done. You got to say something you've never said. You got to go to a place in you that you've never even been. You get to redesign. You are your Michelangelo. You are your greatest sculpture. And you get to recarve and you get to up-level as much as you need. You're not sentenced to this life this way. You chose it. You get to choose as much as you want. You get to design it any way you choose. You're not sentenced to your future. You have an opportunity to your future. What do you want and how do you want it? And if it doesn't make you a little afraid, then you ain't playing big enough. Your knees are supposed to knock a little bit. Your teeth are supposed to chatter a little bit. There's supposed to be at least 2 butterflies in your stomach. At least. Because if not, you're playing inside your comfort zone.
Influence me, bruh.
No, I think from intelligence to make them conscious of what has been done to my people around the world. It helps to change the world.
Grand Rising, Dons and Divas. It's your girl, Diva Ebony B. You're now tuned in live to Diva Spot Podcast Lounge. I hope you guys are doing good today. It is Wednesday, December the 6th, Big shout out to everybody that's out this morning on the way and got those kids to school, because I know I got my child to school, on the highways and byways, on your way to work and school. I definitely appreciate you tuning in live today. Today's topic is enough is enough. We're going to be talking about toxic relationships. And I know some of y'all are tired of falling out with family and friends behind toxic relationships and their toxic decisions. So I think it was a great idea to talk about this today. We don't really get a chance to converse about it, but it's about time for us to talk about it, and not just to hit up or bash people, but just for us to hold our own self accountable and let their life be their teacher. Big shout out to everybody that's tuned in. Facebook, I definitely see you. Instagram and Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, I see you here. If you guys want to comment on the show, go ahead and make a comment. I'll pull it up and ask questions, or if you want to give a shout out. Big shout out to our sponsors. We definitely appreciate our sponsors here. Today's show is sponsored by Queen's Royal Sips and Nurse Glamour. Again, that's Queen's Royal Sips and Nurse Glamour. Make sure you check them out at DivaSpot, www.divaspot.blogspot.com. Again, that's www.divaspot.blogspot.com. Make sure you check out our sponsors and support what they have going on. But I wanted to have this conversation. Y'all know I'm not going to do this show without doing the spiritual feeding and doing the educate and regulate session. So I want to make sure you guys get fed all the way around, because it's a gumbo here when you here with Diva, aka Queen 1000, BKA Miss Motivation. Make sure you like and share, but I'm gonna go ahead and dive right into this topic at the top of the show. I think it is extremely necessary. I had to put the comment up in the comments while you're hearing. Please make sure you like I said, like, share, and subscribe. Good morning, Annette. Good morning, Grand Rising. I wanted to talk about this topic, y'all. I think it's important. Prioritizing your own well-being and creative and happier futures. It's okay to make a decision for the positive. It's okay to tell your friends or your family, like, yeah, this is not healthy, this is not toxic, and it's working out. This is not going to work out for our future relationship or our future businesses. And I have to understand into any relationship, business ship, partnership, any ship we on, I would request that people come at least 80 to 90% healing. And I'm not just saying this just to be mean or to be funky, because I'm not Funky Diva. No disrespect over there. I'm not a Funky Diva, but I'm just saying I had to do the work for myself. I had a severe anger problem, and I just thought that I can just go and put hands on people when they didn't agree with me. But I had to learn, because I literally got put in a position where at that time, my family was like, oh, we're not rocking with Ed. We're not rocking with Diva. We're not putting up with her behavior. And I was kind of considered the black sheep to a certain extent, but it was my own choices. And I went to anger management. I had to get some therapy and counseling to get to the root of what was going on with me. And I've talked about this book several times here on Diva Spot, and it's called The Shadow Work Journal. TikTok made me do it. But it's called The Shadow Work Journal, and it's called A Guide to Integrate and Transcend Your Shadow Work. Your shadow person, or you're doing shadow work, is just getting in contact or going back to the previous you, whether it be you 10 years ago, 5 years ago, your a younger self, your teen self, your child self, and going to do the work so you can be able to have positive and healthy friendships, relationships, partnerships, business partnerships, so you can be able to take care of that work. And some of the things that's happening to you, you're being triggered, or you're getting offended, or you're pulling back, is because you feel like that person don't support you. And that's not necessarily true. Sometimes people do things or say things and don't even realize that they have offended you, or you feel uncomfortable and you taking it personal. And I have to say this, I stopped taking shit personal. I started taking things purposefully. I can't keep getting in this emotional bag and then wondering why things ain't working out for me and people don't want to be around me. I want you guys to give me some feedback. Comment while you're here, whether you're on. Big shout out to the Mommy Mobs, and big shout out to Frontline Fridays. Big shout out to Spiritual Feed, and also big shout out to Beach Street Divas. I appreciate you guys being here. Comment in the comment section, and just give some feedback of your experience or how you may feel about the topic today. But it is a holiday season, and we just came off of Thanksgiving. We're going into Christmas, and this is the time that families and friends usually get together to just support and love on one another. But it has to come from a place of forgiveness. I have learned to forgive people and let their lives be their teacher. I'm a big lover. I got a big heart, and I'm loyal. Like Pisces, shout out to Pisces gang. If I'm riding with you, I'm riding with you. If I love you, I love you. If I support you, I support you. But I had to come to a realization that a lot of the support that I was giving to certain people was not helping. It was just enabling their toxic behavior. And that's what we don't want to do, because they're going to end up running up on somebody or being in an environment, and the person is going to tell them what you're doing is real wrong. It's toxic. I had a previous situation, and I'm gonna let y'all in on it. And I do want to share some really cool things with you guys going on with the community. But I had a friend that was, I feel like now that I think about it, I was more of a friend to this person than that person was to me. But they got into this relationship. Oh, and then I see you. Let me bring you up, Grand Rising, and at Ramsey. I appreciate you being here. But let me give y'all the tea, which is gonna come with a testimony. But I felt like I'm learning that I was more of a friend to this person than this person was a friend to me, because this person was a friend to me through trauma bonding. And those who don't know what trauma bonding is when you and a person have something, y'all have trauma in common, and that's why you guys are friends. Outside of the trauma, you really don't have anything in common that's positive or that's of any growth in the near future. But she ended up getting in a relationship, and it was red flags all the way from the beginning. And as a good friend, I just supported her through, like, be patient, pray on it, fast on it. If this is for you, it's for you. And she had so many red flags. And then she ended up going off to get into a full-blown marriage with this person, but just knowing what she knew from the beginning. And it's kind of like, you want to support your friend, you love them, and you just want to be there to support them. And if they make this decision for themselves, there's nothing that you really can do about it but support them and be there and try to have more positive time with them. But at the end of the day, she was going through a rough patch in her marriage. And I've been married for 7 years. Marriage goes up and down. It ain't always going to be Sunday morning, y'all. I'm trying to tell y'all, it's for those who have stability, and it's for those who are going to be able to weather a lot of storms. Because you guys would never believe the things that me and my husband has overcame. But of course, when you have favor over your life, and when you're in a committed relationship, and when you're in the covenant, you're going to get attacked even harder than you were when you were single. But needless to say, me and her end up falling out because her mask fell off. She was trying very hard to keep up an appearance, which she didn't have to. I loved her. I love her now, And for me, you don't have to have a lot going on to be my friend, but you do need to be positive. You do need to be a believer. You got to be driven. You got to be forward thinking. We got to move forward. But she was going through a very rough patch in her relationship. And another queen came to her and noticed that her husband was going through something, and said something to her, which I was not even aware what was going on. And she felt like I was talking about her and her relationship, which I wasn't. I'm not even invested into people's relationships like that. I think that is a very sensitive area, and I stay in my lane. Like, if you get with somebody and y'all fall out, and y'all need to hear this, kings and queens, if you fall out with your mate and you go tell your best friend or your family how you hate them, how they did this to you, verbally or physically abused them, remember, they on your side. I'm not saying to not say anything, But remember, when you forgive them, it don't always mean that your family and your friends will forgive that person. Because if they did something as abusing you, most likely they're going to do it again. So here's the thing. You fall out with them, you telling your business to this person, you didn't take it to God first, you just going running your mouth rather than playing on it, and then you get back with the person and y'all fall out again, and you want your friend to constantly be there when you constantly want to come dumping on them after you went back to the abuse. Enough is enough. I want to hear you guys' comments on this. Hey Queen, I see you definitely here in the building. I appreciate you. Karina is in the building, but friends and family, we getting tired. We getting tired of you going through the up and down. We getting tired of you catching your mate cheating and going back to the person. We getting tired of you being abused and going back to the person who abused you or the thing that abused you. Like that hurts us too. Like we not just in, we sometimes we feel like hell, we in a relationship with y'all, but we really want to have a healthier life with you. We want to go out and explore. We want to go out and have great family time. We want to grow businesses. We want to stack money. It's people in your life who are growing and you stand stagnated because you are in a comfortable place, or you haven't dealt with your childhood trauma or your self-esteem issues or your poor money management issues or your addiction issues, and you want to continue for us to jump back into the crab bucket with you. Don't get mad when we don't do that. Now, when you come to us and tell us your business and ask us for advice, and I'm gonna get into some comments because I see y'all blowing it up. When you guys ask us for advice and you telling us, and you just remember, it's okay to come and talk to us about it and vent. But at a certain point, it becomes dumping. You could have called me about anything like, yeah, I seen this event that's coming up, we can do with the kids, or we can double date, or we can just go out and have a good time, or this is the opportunity for to better our health, or hey, here's the way that we can make some money. Like, can we have these conversations? I don't want to hear about nothing that you ain't prayed on and waited on. It just gets to the point. I'm that friend, and I'm going to tell you, some of your friends won't tell you or can't tell you because they don't want no conflict, but the hell with that. I'm going to tell you. I do not want to always have to have a negative conversation with you about somebody that you know that don't love you, don't respect you, ain't never going to respect you, ain't pouring into you, and you want to come and dump on me and boo-hoo when we can be going out getting to this bread, putting ourselves in better positions and being around more quality people. It's your girl, Diva Ebony B. You're now tuning live to Diva Spot Podcast Lounge. Enjoy yourself while you're here. If you're having your morning coffee, your tea, salute to you. I want to bring up Karina's comment. Karina said, let's grow together or grow apart. Amen. We got to grow together or we got to grow apart. But some way, I'm going to be growing. Okay? Karina said, yes, our ears are not trash cans for dumps. I love that comment. I love that, Karina. My ears are not trash cans for you to just dump your garbage on it. It's not okay. And it's abuse to those who love you. Like, you're being abused by this person, don't even realize that you picked up that narcissistic behavior, you picked up that energy, and now you are abusing the family and friends in your village around you and wondering why nobody don't want to be there. I'm going to go ahead and get into a music break, and when we come back, I want to talk more on this topic, and also we're going to get into the spiritual feeding. It's your girl, Diva Ebony B. You're now tuned in live to Diva Spot Podcast Lounge. We'll be right back.
I wake up to days where I just don't know what's in store for me when I walk out the door. Still I yawn and stretch, brush my hair, get showered and dressed, try to relax my mind, just take it slow. Pull up the blinds to the whole wide world outside my window. Watch the people walk by on a clueless stroll. My heart is heavy and my mind is frayed, and there are many days where I'm really afraid, but I hide it well with a smile on my face. 'Cause I gotta be ready when I walk out the door. Oh, 'cause I never know the effect that I may have on someone's soul. You know I gotta be ready when I walk out the door, 'cause I never really know the effect my energy may have upon their soul. I push through it to get to it, keep my confidence intact, 'cause I know who's got my back, like a Cadillac without full flats. See, I'm trying to stay the course, screaming PVO inside, staying positive, praying all negativity dies. Self-evaluation's key, I'm trying to live love, happiness, and peace. To my own self I must stay true, so I'm cautious how I move. These rhymes ain't hard to read, I'm sure you will agree. So before you start your day, just remember this one here thing. Be ready, so you don't have to get ready. Be ready, 'cause you don't wanna have to get ready, ready.
Welcome back, y'all. It's your girl, Diva Ebony B. You're now tuned in live to Diva Spot Podcast Lounge. I am so grateful that you guys are here. Make sure you check me out on all social media networks at Diva Ebony B, at Diva Spot Podcast Lounge. We are talking about enough is enough, and we are addressing the toxic relationships that our family and friends. Now, ain't you tired of falling out with your family and friends? Like, I didn't do all of that work to build a relationship and a bond with you, for us to fall out over you making poor decisions. And some of our family members and friends, we can't say this, but Diva is going to say this, so have them watch it, and it's all right. I'll say it for you. I think it's better to be honest with the people that you love than to sit there and kind of nourish a pattern or toxic behavior that's not serving them and they not moving forward. But I want to get into the spiritual feeding real quick. I got the Bible app on my phone, and once I wake up in the morning, I always put on my armor and I get the word of God in me first before I do anything, before I go out and deal with God's people or do whatever God has for me today. So let's go ahead and get into the spiritual feeding real quick, and then we're going to get more into this topic because I want to get you guys feedback on this. Let's go.
It's time to educate and regulate.
Still preaching and I'm still hungover, still drunk from a Saturday night. But I just wanna trade it all for a chance to make it into heaven gates. Cause you say I'm living wrong, well shit won't change. I got bad ways, but I'm asking you God, please take them away, far away from here. I misbehave. This lifetime hurts, but I'ma make this work, so I'ma take them to church. Hey, good morning, church. I came to grieve till you wanna calm my nerves. They say they got Saddam, but see how this works is now we get to sit back and see who bombs who first. God.
Big shout out to College Dreams with Take Them to Church. Make sure y'all check them out. Big shout out to Philly. He said, the pastor's still preaching and I'm still hungover, still drunk from a Saturday night. But I want to change it all to get a chance to get into heaven gates because I know I ain't living right. I want to read this. If you guys ain't got the Bible app on your phone, go ahead and get it if that's what you desire to do. But it says new life versus old life. And this goes with the topic at hand that I'm talking about. How are you doing on breaking your old habits, aka toxic habits? That old way of life may be catching up with you right now. That happens to all Christ followers. Stop and think for a minute about how long you have been living like the old way. You have spent your entire life up to this point learning to get away with as much as you can. Now you understand the consequences of those actions and you have allowed Jesus to pay for your sin. But those old habits are still there and they die hard. You are not the only person to ever deal with this problem. Come on, y'all. Now, notice how Paul opens up these verses. Why do I do wrong things and not do right things? Have you been asking yourself the question? Truth is, we have two natures living in us. One nature wants to do things that please God and honor God. The other nature wants to do things that are wrong in God's sight. And in other words, you are in a war zone. Okay. So what can you do? First, take a few minutes to think about what drags you back into old habits. Is it a friendship, a relationship? Is it a song or a movie? Do you have things at your house that you need to get rid of, like a stash of porn, drugs, or alcohol? Second, you need to deal with whatever it is that tempts you. You may need to end a friendship or a relationship, or at least add some new friends to follow God. You may need to get rid of something that tempts you. Finally, you need to tell the person holding you accountable about your temptations. Remember, we talked about this last week about not going in alone, you guys. Take a few minutes to pray. Ask God to help you to deal with temptation. Thank Him for forgiving you when you fell. Maybe this week you would memorize another verse from the Bible or that reminds us who we are in Jesus. 2 Corinthians 5:17. I encourage you guys to look at we going into 2024. This year I have been praying for clarity, to hear God loud and clear, closure, for God to end things in my life and bring order to my life, and closeness to God. I want to get closer to God more than what I ever did before. It doesn't matter what I did yesterday. It doesn't matter who I was last week. It don't matter who I was last Thursday or 10 years ago. I am making a conscious decision to do the right thing now because it ain't really about me in this moment. I'm preparing myself for 10 generations down, y'all. It's not even that. And that's when you start shifting, you start moving when you think about your life and your grandkids and your great-great-grandkids, about the decision that you're making now, how it's going to affect them 10 generations down. I hope that word bless you today. If you want to get more on that word, you can get into your Bible app. And it's called The Pursuit. The name of this particular one is called The Pursuit. And it says, chasing down the purpose. So get your daily food in, you guys. Real quick, let me just go ahead and highlight a couple of positive and great things that's going on in the community. Diva like to bring y'all the goods. Y'all want the tea, but you're getting the testimony over here. But I wanted to highlight a few things. First of all, a big shout out to Bowie Elementary. Bowie is having a Christmas dance. If you are a Bowie student here at Bowie Elementary, make sure that the dance is going to be Friday, December the 8th from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. It's $5 for a family of 5, and then after that it will be $1. So there's going to be dancing, there's going to be crafts, there's going to be hot chocolate, there's going to be hot cocoa, and it's the Polar Express theme. So big shout out to the Bowie PTA and all the incredible things that they are doing, all the teachers there at the Bowie PTA and all the things that you are doing. We are super excited and proud for that. Also, not to mention Washington, y'all got something coming up this Friday as too. Big shout out to the sneaker teams and game night that's going on at the Greater Light Church. Big shout out to Zenobia Itzen. She will be live in the building here on Diva Spot Podcast Lounge soon, so stay tuned for that. But Washington, right there in Lakewood, Washington, all my Pacific Northwesters, there's going to be a sneaker and team game night. There's going to be a live DJ, open mic. They got dance groups. They got soloists. They got spoken words. They got rappers. It is a positive place for your teens to be. We can't keep saying, oh, it ain't nothing for the teens no more. Ain't nobody doing. Yes, it is. So if you are in the Pacific Northwest, if you are in Washington and you are in the Pierce County area, this Friday is going down December the 8th from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Bring your teens out to get into something positive. And I will say this is how we break the habits of pornography, sexual, explicit things, anger, disrespect. If you want them demons to get up off your kids, take them to a place where they can be able to express themselves in a positive way and get some love and direction. A lot of these kids just doing stuff because we got them in the streets, aka the new streets, the phones, the tablets, and the internet, and what's going into the ear gate and eye gate. Your kids are being programmed to disrespect you, to be out there sexing, drugging, and killing. All right, we're gonna talk about that on another episode. Also, another positive thing that happened that I would like to share is a big shout out for Facebook for recognizing Diva Ebony B. Yes. We are a rising creator. We are in the 5% of rising creators for this week. So Facebook, big shout out to you guys. Big shout out to all of my digital creators. We definitely put in a lot of effort to bring you great and positive content and bring you things that can feed your soul. I'm not just here just to entertain you. I am here to educate you as well. So, and I always have to say, and I'm not concerned with being popular. I'm actually popular by default. I'm really concerned with being effective and having positive and long-lasting relationships. And not just making a connection with somebody, but nurturing it. And that's what I learned. Again, big shout out to CJ and the Boss Babes Dallas North Dallas Boss Babes networking group. She was talking about not just making connections, but nurturing them. I wanted to talk about some signs of recognizing a toxic relationship. And it could be a friendship, partnership, any ship we on, y'all. Any ship that we on. I wanted to bring this up because I thought this was really good for us to see. Now let's just take a look at this. It says signs of a toxic relationship. The first one is feeling unsupported. If you're feeling unsupported by your family or a friend or somebody, just kind of pay attention to that because these are the signs. You're feeling unsupported. The second one is toxic communication. These are telltale signs. I'm not making it up. Toxic communication where you're cussing each other out. You back and forth. You can't really agree to disagree. There's always a debate or argument between you. Toxic communication gets us nowhere. It gets us with that low vibrational energy as we all out here talking about. And then the next one is distrust. A lot of us is living with people, loving on people, laying down with people that we don't even trust. We in friendships and going places with people that we don't even trust you. I don't trust you. I don't trust you with my life. I don't trust you with my business ventures. I don't trust you with personal information. I don't trust you, period, because most likely this person has shown themselves to be disloyal and untrustful. The second one is disrespect. I have had a situation where I just had to let a person know, listen, we've come to the point in our relationship that we need to go our separate ways because I was tired of the disrespect and the disregard. You don't get the disrespect and disregard people and then could turn around and say, oh, support me, support me. That ain't how that works. The last one, the next one, excuse me, is controlling. I cannot talk enough about this control piece. A lot of people out here have control issues. And again, that goes back to doing the shadow work. You're not feeling safe. You feel like you need to control things because you don't feel safe in that area. You don't feel safe in that moment. You don't feel safe around these people. You have not felt safe because it's sprung from something when you were younger. The next one is being walked on, just being walked off, not just people just disregarding anything that you got going on, like really not caring about how you feel or disregarding the things that you have went through. They just walking all over you. It doesn't even matter. They don't care that it hurts. They like, yeah, whatever, you know. I'm going to do me. This is the way that I am. And when people say this is the way I am, I come to realize to let their life be them teacher, let them stay where they're at. And then the last one, you guys can't see it. The one I was just talking about is not just being walked on, but you walking on eggshells. Every time you come around, you got to feel like you got to walk on eggshells. You got to feel like you can't say certain things. You got to change yourself or change your demeanor. You can't be truthful because you feel like you don't want to offend them. And you want to people please. Let me tell y'all something. I'm gonna look dead in this camera. Okay. People pleasing is a sign of fear. You fear that they will leave you. You fear that they won't be in a relationship with you, but people pleasing is toxic. And the last one is neglected needs. Your needs are being neglected. They're not seeing that you have mental health things that you're trying to work through or you're trying to get past. And they're not allowing you to go get the help or encouraging you and supporting you, giving you the resources, showing you how to make your village strong. They're just neglecting their needs and they only care about what they want. They're not showing up the way that they say they were showing up. So I wanted to talk about that on today. You guys hit me up. It's your girl, Diva Ebony B, your favorite diva in the morning, baby. Make sure you follow me on all social media platforms right here on YouTube. I'm trying to run it up at the top of the year to 15,000 subscribers. Excuse me. So make sure you subscribe, like, and share that YouTube page on Diva Spot Podcast Lounge. Again, that's Diva Spot Lounge on YouTube. Make sure you follow it up. If you got a comment, you want to comment on the show, I'm not going to be here too long. I'm going to be taking my husband. He is doing well, you guys. Big shout out to all you guys who've been showing love to my husband. He has surgery on his right shoulder, on his rotator cuff. So he's getting to his post-op appointment today. So we're going to follow it up. He had it on last Tuesday. So thank you guys for showing him all the love and all the support. Just Mr. and Mrs. we have in a moment. I'm taking care of that man and he has took care of me. Thank you, God. But I want to get your comments. We got about a few more minutes in the show, but I want to get you guys feedback on it. This is not to tear down people. This is not to bash. This is not to disregard or degrade people, but you finding yourself feeling drained and tired and you felt like you just stagnated and you can't get forward because you need to be honest with what you are allowing to help to happen to you through this person, because they keep dealing with the same problem and keep having the repeated behavior, and you need to draw a line. Enough is enough. I wanted to read this comment so you guys know. It says, enough is enough. It's time to break free from the toxicity of family and friends and let their own lives be their teacher. No longer will we be burdened by their destructive decisions. It's time to prioritize our own well-being and create a healthier, happier future. You can have the village that you desire to have. You can see the children grow, but I cannot grow in the garden of farmers who don't farm. It's nothing personal. If y'all want to go over there and have the bare minimums, you can, but I'm planting all types of stuff in my garden. Financial literacy, freedom, respect, accountability. Ooh, that big word. Somebody just got mad and got slapped with that word. Accountability, ownership. Ownership is powership. Like moving forward, we don't always have to have these drugs addictions and all of this stuff. I've been there. I'm not even speaking on nothing I ain't been through. Toxic work environments. Again, that's another thing. Let me just touch a little bit about that because I'm gonna talk about that when my guest is and coming this week. Big shout out to Synovia. Let me pull them up because I got guests that's coming in. Actually, we already booked up for December. Thank you, God, for all of the guests that's coming in. Big shout out to Synovia. It's excuse me. There you go, Novi. Big shout out to Synovia Itson that's going to be here on Friday, December the 15th. She's going to be on Diva Spot. We're going to be talking about life, love, healing, and business. And then we're going to have Neighborhood Shells on live on the 18th. He'll be on the show. We're going to be talking about music and children. So we got so many things to bring forward to you. But I wanted to touch just a little bit on a toxic work environment because my last job, that's the reason why I resigned, because it was a toxic work environment. And it was so much going on at them. And I knew my value. It's not that necessarily that, they did anything to me personally, but the decision that was made. And when you see the toxicity coming, down from the head, like you hear it from HR, you hearing it from supervisors, you hearing it, you see it. It is not okay for people to come to work and whatever that you're dealing with, you ain't did your shadow work, for you to come and make people's days miserable. If you come to work and say, I don't even want to be here today, you should stay your ass at home. I said it. If you didn't want to be to work out today, you only showing up for a paycheck, and that's just it. You need to be working for yourself. You need to be at home, because what's happening is you bring in your negative energy. You are getting irritated. You're being you're very hard to work with. Things ain't getting done, and the customers and the clients are being neglected. And then what happens to the worker? Now we got the burn and we neglect. Now we taking it home because we had a horrible day because people don't know how to work together. And being honest, we need to say it. Stop showing up to work late. One, stop being a problematic co-worker. Two, stop coming to work smelling like whatever. Stop passing the ball. Ain't nobody got time for this. When you got a person, I know that's right. Kima said, speak on it. Speak on it. We ain't got time for this. Some of us come to work and we ready to get it. We ready to go. We ahead of the game. When we leave from there, and employers, don't be upset. When we leave from the job and we clock out, we clock into our lives. When we had that initial interview and we signed that agreement that 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, whatever it was on these days, that is my professional agreement with you. That's my contract. Outside of that, I do not have to. I'm not taking work home all the time. I get it. Sometimes we do have to, but I'm not going to take work on home. If I didn't procrastinate, why do I have to be penalized or go through all of this fuss and frustration for other people who just want to do the bare minimums? If you a bare minimum worker, then most likely I say you need to be in a bare minimum environment. That's okay. That's just what you want to do. You want to do the bare minimum. You want a little. You want to do a basic. Do a basic. But I'm coming out of I'm one of those type of people that I'm coming out of the basic. I'm coming out of the norm, and I'm going straight into a bold lifestyle. It's some things that y'all gotta let go in 2024, 2023 that can't go into 2024. And you gotta be honest. Stop playing around. I love this photo right here as I wrap up the show. Is this right here? You see her breaking out of the norm, going into the bold. You see how the norm was looking like, oh, yes. Bare minimum. There's bare minimum. I just want to do the normal stuff. And then we got other people who out here being bold, who on the front line for these kids, who on the front line advocating for the children, for the elderly, for the sick, for those who are coming up, the community. We want to protect the community. And here you are gasping because we don't want to just do the norm every day. We want to do something. Now, a little giggle before we wiggle up out of here is how the rent stole Christmas. Lord gas, y'all. Now, for some of you kids out there, family and friends, rent gonna steal Christmas. I know a few years that I've had where rent stole Christmas, but it ain't about all the presents and stuff. It's just about you being grateful in this time, and you celebrating, you know, family and friends, and fellowship and worship, and paying homage. If you don't get that flat screen TV, you didn't need it. If you didn't get those new earrings or that makeup or Mac or whatever, you didn't need it. The mere fact that you're alive and that you're here and that you're grateful, so and that you have family and friends and you have just the basics is enough for living. But I'm gonna tell y'all, for some of us and for some of y'all, the rent gonna steal Christmas this year. So don't be surprised. My mother-in-law sent me that, and I had to. That is super funny to me, and it's not to, you know, come down on people, but don't get caught up in all the gifts and all the gag this year. It ain't necessary. I want to give you guys one more thing before I get out of here. Okay, we at 5:55. I gotta go. I'm gonna give y'all one more thing, and that's the tea. And that is the tea to help you manage these emotions. And we're talking about enough is enough. It's Diva Ebony B, your favorite diva in the morning. You're now tuned in live to Diva Spot Podcast Live Lounge every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. But I want to give you all the tea before I get out of here. And that tea is, when you're going through all these emotions and you're dealing with people and you're dealing with things, here it is. Here's a tea that will help you manage that. So the first tea is anxiety. If your anxiety is really high, I'm a person who was struggling with my anxiety for years. And it was just because of the environment that I came up in, very hostile, very move and shake, just a lot of stuff going on. Is it lavender? Have some lavender tea if you feel jittery and you can't seem to get it together. You don't know what's going on. And if you're struggling with sleep, go ahead and have you some calamine tea. Calamine tea is known to help you. And these are all herbs, you guys, to help you sleep and help relax your body. If you are restless, have you some turmeric tea. Now, a lot of people may not be able to take turmeric, but I encourage you to look up all the benefits of turmeric. Turmeric is the truth. And if you need to wake up, you need a little bit more energy besides having your coffee, try some black tea. Try some black tea and see how that works. Thank you, Annette. She said, wonderful show. Thank you, and I appreciate you. And then the emotional wellness. Let's talk about peppermint tea. I love peppermint. And peppermint smells so good. It tastes so good. And even in my coffee, I got some peppermint creamer in my coffee this morning. Okay, what's the next one? Elevated stress, lemongrass. Big shout out to Sir Calloway for the song Lemongrass. I'm gonna play that when we go out of here. But lemongrass tea, if your stress is elevated, have you some lemongrass. Energy, green tea. Promote positivity. Masala chai. I love a good chai tea. I love a good chai tea. But I just want to encourage you guys on today. It's the Diva Ebony B. I'm glad you guys are here. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. So I'm going to go ahead and take care of my husband and continue on with the day. You guys keep God first, family second, and career right. And remember, keep your skincare right and your front legs tight. Until the next time, my friends, be good.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, excuse me, sister, can I interest you in
some of this lemongrass tea tree. Yeah, I go by the name of Sir Calloway. Oh, that's Get Down Brown right there. Yeah. And that's my man Spitzwell on the wheels of steel. Enjoy. Coconut oil, coconut oil, coconut oil, rub it out. Freddie Jackson in the background, love it out, love it out. I'm infatuated with your shade of brown, mahogany, pecan tan, no bust down. She adjust her crown and then do her dance to what the DJ playing. The real deal, no smoke and mirrors, aura color like oak interior. She needs stud, needs shine blockers, got a glow so bright with a line chakras. Street vibes with a deep side. She's Arm & Hammer and almond butter, like gas, sage, and incense. Conversation game so intense. When I come home, I get set a plate. And me and her sit and just meditate, then make love and then climax and just levitate and just levitate. We up there, way up there, we out of there, so out of there. Euphoria, that shea butter, she got it.
Oh yes, I love her like Egyptian. Want a description, my royal highness.